What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. Today is episode 15. It is the first episode where we're featuring an actual beer on the episode. I know that a lot of you guys think that we're drinking beer, and we usually are not, but today, actually, I'm drinking a beer, so that's very important. We've got some fun news for you, a couple bits from Aston Martin, which is usually not a motorcycle-related news. Then we've got our Hayabusa meme competition, which I'm very excited about. We'll be looking at some wretched bikes, some fun comments, doing all kinds of cool stuff. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good time. So, if you guys want to join up for these Yamcasts and participate like our sweet boys are doing right now on live and on Discord, go to yammie.co. It's one of the best reasons to sign up on there. A lot of people tell me that they don't even really care about the bike giveaway. They think the community is the best part, which really flatters me. So, do that. Go and check it out. But without further ado, let's check out the story for today.
Our first piece of news, which I need to share with you guys in Discord, is Aston Martin AMB hits the track. This is a ridiculously styled, it's not even a super bike even. It kind of is, I suppose. It is the AMB 001 put together by Rough Superior. And
that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is 180 horsepower turbocharged motorcycle.
Pussy numbers. 180 horsepower? Nothing.
Nah, nothing.
Nothing. We live in the world where 220 is your starting point nowadays.
Yep. So Aston Martin's clearly not coming correct today.
Also, from what I saw in there, it is boosted, right?
Yeah, it's turbocharged. Turbocharged.
So we're talking probably some peaky power, right?
Yeah.
Probably going to be tough to ride.
It's a big 997cc V-twin engine.
That's turbocharged.
It's turbocharged.
Leave it to Bruff, man, to make something that weird.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I mean, this thing looks wild. It looks absolutely wild.
It looks wild, but it also looks like an alien life form, doesn't it? It looks like a carapace and an exoskeleton and a squat little head. I don't think I quite like the way it looks, personally.
Let's wait till you see, where is it? Right there. There's your dashboard with the AMG 001 like spine going right down the middle of the dash.
That's weird. Wouldn't you want to see the full dash?
That's what I would have thought.
It does look gorgeous, though. That is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's very well put together, and all the lines are very clean, but I don't get it.
Look at that seat.
Can you even call it a seat?
Yeah, not much.
I mean, that's
you
probably...
thought your KTM had bad padding.
Yeah, oh man, literally it's just there so that you don't slide off the back when the turbocharger kicks in.
Calamari Express says it looks like it was born in a Final Fantasy game, and I totally agree. It does look like some super space age anime bike.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if it does it have lights on it? Yeah, it must. Yeah, there you go. It must.
It's probably going to be street legal. So let's see here. Technically, the Bruff engine, which makes 102 horsepower at 9,600 RPM in stock form, has this power nearly doubled by the addition of a turbo. Now, that's some Boosa gains right there.
And they say up here that it is a relatively mild or fairly restrained levels of boost, making double the horsepower.
I don't think that's very restrained. But yeah, again, like the big reason why you don't see turbochargers on motorcycles is because they are unpredictable. They make power in a peaky kind of way. And when throttle response is everything on a bike, you don't want it to where you crack it open and then all of a sudden it just takes off and you don't expect it to mid-corner.
I mean, this thing is... why? My question is why? Why would you own this besides saying that you own it?
That's probably the only reason. That's probably the only reason. Think about who's going to own this, right? It's going back to the thing you said about some Saudi Arabian guy who's going to buy it and chuck it into some skyscraper and it never is going to see the light of day. It's just a cool ornament to own for billionaires, right? It's just a neat thing to have. How many are they going to make? Like
100.
They're going to make 100 of them?
Mm-hmm. They're going to make 100 of them.
That's a lot more than I thought.
And they are not cheap, as the article says here. Aston Martin's already accepting inquiries about the bike, having announced a price of 108,000 euros. including a 20% tax. That is a lot of money. That's about 100,000 pre-tax US dollars.
What's fascinating is, like, once you start getting into those super high dollar bikes, it's like performance almost doesn't even matter anymore because they're all going to be fast. But I mean, the first thing that comes in mind, I'm like, oh, if I had 100 grand to burn, I'd get a Superleggera, right? I'd get the new Ducati.
Yep.
But I think the guy who wants this wouldn't want a Superleggera. This looks so much more exclusive, so much more weird and odd.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like a red resin carbon fiber that almost looks like wood.
Yeah.
I wonder what it sounds like. I wish we had a sound clip.
Well, if it only redlines at 9,600 RPM and it's a V20 and it's turbocharged, it probably sounds like, honestly, like a wretched turbocharged car.
That would be really, really disappointing.
Yeah, I don't think it would have a glorious exhaust note like an MV Agusta or something.
No, I don't think so.
I think it would just have a pretty bad exhaust sound, honestly. I can't imagine it sounding super great. It looks really interesting, but yeah.
Again, this is just something that's going to sit in a big room, like in a motorcycle museum or, you know, it's just...
It reminds me of like the Y2Ks or those other crazy one-off bikes where, again, no one actually rides them or owns them. They just have them in a museum.
Yep.
Because they built it at some point.
And, I mean, apparently they've been developing this all the way through the COVID-19 crisis, and they're just like, man, we're just going to do it. We're just going to send it out.
Really quick, that one paragraph right there says, just after Canadian billionaire Lawrence Stroll had stepped in as chairman, heading a consortium of ventures underpinning a £536 million bailout package. So it seems that Aston was in a pretty big pickle there for a little while and needed a big cash infusion.
Is that the pilot? That's a Michelin. I recognize that tread pattern. What is that tread?
No, that I think is a Cup 2 tire. That looks like the tire I have on my KTM.
Yeah, that.
But if it was a Pilot Road 4, that would be hilarious.
Just seeing that on the track.
Because you know the meme about the Pilot Road 4s, right, on our motorcycles?
No.
Because no matter what you say on our motorcycles, they recommend the Pilot Road 4. And then everyone always says, how you like them? ? And it's just like, I always see that all the time. If anyone says Pilot Road 4s, people are like, how you like them? How you like them?
Because just everyone has them.
Everyone has them, yeah. Honestly, I hate that tire. I've ridden on it before. It's a super hard sport touring tire.
It's functional.
Yeah,
that's
it works.
That's what I would say about it.
It lasts forever. That's the good thing. It's like a car tire. It lasts like 20,000 miles. Mm-hmm. But how many of those miles are you smiling?
Not very many.
Not many of them.
That's the kind of thing that I was like, because I had the S22s on the VFR, and I was thinking, well, they're already squaring off after like 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
Time to go for something a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
And I was probably going to get the Pilot Road 4s.
God.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Talk about that later.
Yeah. Andrew here says Jay Leno will have one of the first 5 guaranteed. Yeah,
oh,
this
100%.
is 100% a Jay Leno bike where he comes out with this big ass chin and is just like, oh, check it out. It's a Aston Martin $100,000 motorcycle. I've got more money than God, so I bought it. No hate to Jay Leno. He's a really cool guy.
So I think that wraps up everything that we have to say about the Aston Martin. I think it's just one of those bikes that's very cool to look at, probably terrible to ride.
Yeah.
And probably terrible to listen to because of the turbo. However, going from one ridiculously expensive
are they doing
motorcycle
it? Are they doing it?
To another completely ridiculous expensive motorcycle, the Bimoda Tezi H2 ahead of September production.
I saw this at EICMA last year, and I was like, I cannot believe they're gonna do this, and I guess they're gonna freaking do it.
Yep, they are testing it on the circuit, so it's a very short thing here, but following online footage and photos of on-circuit testing exotic Italian motorcycling marquee, Bimoda has confirmed to MCN that their supercharged Tezi H2 will go into production in September, complete with a new paint job.
Crazy. So do you know much about this bike or no?
I know about Bimoda. I know what they do, and they're really fond of this dual swing arm setup, which is really peculiar, and I don't understand why anybody would want one.
It's supposed to apparently reduce all fork dive, but I go off of the fact that no one in GP and no one in racing actually uses this setup because it's incredibly complicated.
Yeah.
One swing arm is complicated enough. Doing it for two of them and having like opposing arms. I mean, look at that. Look at everything that's going on here.
And that's got to all be like semi-active suspension stuff too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, this thing is going to be ridiculous when it's done.
I just can't believe they're actually making it. This looks like a concoction you'd like whip up like after like 5 beers with your friends. You're just like, what if Tezi put a H2 engine in their chassis?
I mean, it
should not exist.
It literally looks like they're taking the top half of an H2 and then slapping it on some sort of future robot.
Yeah.
And it's,
hats off, man. I mean, it's going to be incredible.
This is just another one of those motorcycles where why do you do it other than to say, fuck it, let's just do it.
That is the big reason. Here's another question. What do you think this thing's going to MSRP at?
Let's see. So they have some related articles down here. But going off of some of the Tezis that I've seen for lists we've done in the past, I got to believe that this thing is going to retail for like north of 150 to 200 grand.
You think it's going to be that expensive to make a Tezi H2? I was thinking it's probably going to retail around like 60 to 80.
I don't think it's going to be that cheap, honestly.
Mostly because the Aston Martin bike we were just looking at that was way more bespoke than this. I mean, this is using parts that already exist, you know?
Yeah, but this is also going to be a rideable motorcycle.
The other one is too, technically.
Technically, but there's no technicalities here. This is just an H2 with a ridiculous suspension setup.
That is true.
You know, I would wager that this is over, like, it's probably like 150,000 would be my guess.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of the peculiarities in the suspension. I mean, look at that, dude. Two swing arms is ridiculous.
It's a crazy suspension setup for sure, but I don't know if it'll retail for that high. But one thing is for sure, that's our next giveaway bike.
We're not even going to do the H2 flat out. We're just going to go straight
I'm going to my local Bimoda dealership here in Austin, and I'm writing them a check.
I wonder if AF1 may have they probably get the occasional Bimoda, like once in a blue moon.
I could see that.
They probably have one just show up. But these are really peculiar bikes. They're really cool looking just because of the dual swing arm setup. I
think if you know anything about bikes and you would see the front end of this bike, you're just like, whoa, that's wild.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you look at a motorcycle and you're like, okay, front forks. Yeah, it's a bike.
Yeah.
You look at this and you're like, swing arm. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those does not compute kind of things. Where it's just, you know, it's so cool. It's really cool. It looks very, very, very cool.
I wonder how much it's going to weigh.
Probably a little bit heavier than the stock H2 would be my guess.
The H2 is already pretty heavy.
It's like it weighs 500
like 540?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the H2 is it's a Boosa-sized motorcycle. People tend to forget, but it's a big boy.
Huge. I saw one, I don't think it was at Woods, but I've sat on one like at a dealership.
They're imposing.
They're very cool looking in person. Like the paint they have on them and the like it's got like almost an iridescent quality to it.
Yeah.
They're a very cool motorcycle, and I love the Ducati red and white on this Bimoda here. Like just the fact that it's a Japanese engine inside of an Italian-made bike kind of makes it almost, in my opinion, more reliable than something like a Ducati.
Yeah.
You know, some super crazy hopped-up Ducati.
Yeah, I'm sure that H2 engine will work really well. If Bimoda was making some Tezi that wasn't H2 derived, I'd probably be very skeptical of it. You know?
Yes. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited, honestly, to see it. I really want to hear it and I want to see it at a track.
Yeah.
Just because I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
But that's without any. Apparently, it's going into production in September. So, if somebody out there has a Bimoda Tezi H2 wants to give it to us for a weekend,
let me know. I would love to put it on Twisted Road. I'll rent it out from you. No matter, name your price. I'll figure it out. It's okay. I'll make it happen. That's great. What else do we have for news?
I think that is the end of our news today. 2 wild, exotic motorcycles. So why don't we take it on over to our call-in section?
Let's do it. Alrighty, guys, we're now starting the call-in portion of our podcast. Remember, if you want the chance to call us in, join us up on the Discord server, and we'll chat with you and answer your questions. So we've got a couple comments on here on the Yamcast channel itself, where a lot of people hang out. And let's see what we've got here.
Send them that notification. I have one comment that I pulled last night. All right, so the first question comes from old Yammie, and it was, I was gifted a BMW K1200 LT.
I've got a call coming in.
Yep, here we go. We'll come back to this one. We promise we'll answer it.
Hello, Jared. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Weasel in the Discord, and I really just wanted to say, because it has been bugging me all day and night. I'm sorry for shooting my mouth in the main chat yesterday before loading my brain. Without finding your channel, I probably would have never considered swinging a leg over a bike ever, because I was always taught that they are dangerous, killing death machines, and that there's no reason on earth that I should ever try to enjoy it. But your content's really helped me in this time of purposelessness, not just being locked in my house for the past months, but also in this time where I'm transitioning from full-time school to trying to find out what I want to do with my life. And the community is just freaking awesome. I love it. And I think it is a gift from the Lord. And I'm sure Lord Rossi also had something to do with that. But I just really wanted to get that off my chest.
Hey, man. Well, thank you so much. I also found motorcycles about 5 months after I graduated school and was in that kind of morass of transitioning from full-time school to full-time working. And it just, it really helped me out. I think motorcycles really gave me a big sense of purpose and community. Spike, we were talking about that the other day where you were like, I don't really remember what my life was like before bikes.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have a motorcycle in my life. I honestly wouldn't be as happy in life right now, just because, we've been stuck inside for months on end at this point.
But it doesn't feel like it when you're a motorcyclist.
No, because you can still just go out and have fun.
Yep.
So it really has been a very freeing, very edifying part of my life, and I'm very thankful that I just kind of did it.
Yeah.
I just chose to one day get on a motorcycle.
Jared, are you riding right now, or are you getting ready to ride? What's the story? I can't remember.
I'm getting ready to ride. I started talking about motorcycles with some of my friends in a car Discord because I'm a huge car guy.
Okay.
I want to try to become a mechanic, but a couple of my car buddies noted that they have been wanting to get back into riding because they used to ride little 150cc Honda dirt bikes. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot more experience with it than myself, but they proposed the idea that all three of us take the MSF and get bikes so that we can, have a hobby and have something to do past just talking about cars.
That sounds like a blast. Doing it with friends is way better than doing it alone. I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And we've been kind of going back and forth as to what bike we think we might want. And we've settled pretty solidly on the 250L Rally because we love the look of it. It can do some on-road between trails, but mostly off-road without having to avoid the nearly suicidal Tampa traffic, which scares me in my car.
Yeah.
So... But
you could actually, I think the CRF 250L Rally is actually a really good on-road bike, personally. I think it's more of a 70-30 like on-road / off-road bike, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. It's lightweight, and it has that big tank, so you can do big miles on it if you wanted to and chuck it off-road. That'll be an awesome bike, yeah. Yeah,
it sounds like a great option. I really would like to ride one, having gone from the DRZ to, I put a leg over your KTM to now mine, I'd like to see it.
And I was maybe wondering about the 390 Adventure. What would that be like off road, or have you guys gotten a chance to try that in an off-road setting.
Yeah,
because
so
I know that it's probably going to be great on-road, but I don't know how capable of it.
It's a really solid on-road platform. The 390 is a great engine, really good chassis, really good, fun, flickable bike. In terms of off-road, I think a CRF 250L, even in rally spec, would probably dust it because it's going to have a lot more longer travel suspension, the ground clearance is a little bit higher, the tires are much thinner, and it comes with more aggressive knobbies from the factory. So it's just set up a little bit better. But as I always say, any bike's an adventure bike if you believe enough. So it would just be a little bit tougher to do stuff with the 390, but not impossible. But surely, since you're starting out, you're probably not going to take 390 and chuck it down some single track and do really aggressive riding with it anyway. So I think it would just be, honestly, whichever one you get would be super fun, and it'll just teach you a lot. And then over time, you'll kind of see what bike you really want and all of that. Spite, what do you think?
I think that the Duke's engine is really, really good.
It's fun.
It's such a good little thumper. It does have a little bit of excess character, I would say. It's a little shaky down at 10, 15 miles an hour. But once you get it going, it's perfectly fine. And it does have some cool tech, like an up-down quick shifter. And it's got traction control and stuff, too.
Got to tame all those 43 horsepower.
Yeah, I know. 42 and a half.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. God forbid. Now, whichever bike you get, Jared, be sure to post it on the Discord, and then we'll check up on you, and hope you're having fun with it. And I'm glad you enjoy the community, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you know I will. Thank you for your time, guys.
Yep.
All right. Later, man. Always nice hearing from the new riders on our server.
Yep. It's just gives you a nice warm fuzzy.
Yeah. You hear that a lot, though, where people are like, oh, motorcycles are death machines, can't ride them, this and that. And I'm just like, dude, do you even ride? It's most people who don't ride to say that shit. Ty Dubs, our favorite SV650 destroyer. How's it going?
Hey, man. How's it going, y'all?
Good. What can we do for you?
So I wanted to ask y'all a question and share my little story over the past couple weeks. Have either of you ever dented a wheel?
Yes, I have.
I'm going to drop a picture in the Yamcast really quick.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
And we'll take a look.
I was riding home the other day, 2 weeks ago now, and
Yikes.
hit something in the road going maybe 10 miles an hour and dented the hell out of my rim. And the air slowly leaked overnight, and the next day it was pretty much just completely flat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So then I managed to find out that the Gladius actually uses the same wheels as the new SV650s. So I picked up a 2009 Gladius wheel, and it went on perfectly. But then I ordered some new tires from Red Bull because it was about time to change them, and this is what they sent me. It's a...
Ooh.
That's not going to work.
I got everything in a few days after I had the damage happen, and then they sent me that. And I was like, well, that's not right. So Revzilla took a while, but they finally got me my tires and my bike's all put together.
I love how they sent you just some super aggressive knobbies. That's insane. That's like competition knobbies.
Someone from the Discord went and contacted Revzilla and told them about my mudding adventure, and they're like, you guys better hook them up.
Yeah, it seems like that was delivered direct from the Dirt Boys over at Revzilla.
I mean, that one picture you keep posting of your SV650X just on its side in the mud, maybe you should just try that tire.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably won't be that good on the road.
I certainly could have used something more aggressive when I took my sled mudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was only a 14-inch tire.
What? Those are 14s? That must go on a little baby pit bike then or something. That's crazy.
Right, so a 50 or 80 cc dirt bike is what the mountain trail for Dirt Boys were saying.
Yeah. Wow, they really goofed up your order. That's completely different.
Yeah. Oh, I also ordered 2 tires, front and rear, and they sent me just this one.
That's great.
Interesting.
That's so great.
So then I ended up getting the new tires and mounting them myself, which I will never do again. I had no idea how to.
Did you do the old? Did you have any specialized tools, or did you just go at it the old school, just bead breaking by hand and spooning them on by hand, doing all that?
I did it based on the MT Garage from Mary Henning from a while back.
Yeah.
With the Motion Pro tools.
Yeah.
And they work well. It's just that I'm not a very physically imposing person. I don't have very much strength, and wrestling those tires on and off was a pain in the ass. And I also kept forgetting to lubricate things with Windex. So I was just fighting the friction too.
Yeah, for me, I mean, tire changes are like, I think it's like $20 a pop or something. It is so worth it to just have someone else do it. I used to do it myself on my own bikes all the time, and then I was like, there's no reason for me to do this. I'm just going to take it to someone else.
Yeah, I'm never going to do it myself again.
Yeah.
That is one of those things that I endeavor to never find out how hard it is. I have never changed my own tires.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not fun.
I saw like videos of people doing it, and I was like, that's okay.
You're so far beyond in the spectrum where I was taking off a rear wheel the other day, and you were like, I don't think I've taken off a wheel ever. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you've never taken a wheel off? You just roll your bike in and have them do the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm just like, I will give you human dollars so that I don't have to deal with this.
Yeah, as a proud owner of now 2 competition motorcycles, I take wheels on and off all the fucking time.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. But what tires did you end up going with?
I ended up sticking with the stock tires, the Road Smart 3s.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're not like the sportiest tire, but I do like depend on my SV, like it's my daily ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I got over 10,000 miles out of them. Like,
awesome.
Still had some life in them, before I changed them. So, but yeah, I noticed a huge difference, like with just fresh rubber being on there, and like having the like fresh profile of it again. It's like
there's nothing like fresh rubber, baby.
Grippy. The wheelies are so much easier now.
Just hooks up and you get that traction. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. We'll catch you on the
later.
Discord.
Okay, let's see if we can't get to that question now. Okay, at Spite, I was gifted a BMW K1200 LT, and as usual, I started watching YouTube to get a feel for what I was getting into. It's a very heavy bike, and one thing I saw was that if I start to stop above 2K RPM, I'm going to smoke the clutch, since it's not strong enough to handle the power against the weight. Is that true?
That doesn't seem true.
Yeah, I have.
Off the gut.
If your bike was designed, and this just doesn't feel like a BMW thing to me, to just have the clutch just get destroyed by the engine, I gotta believe you can pretty much just feather that clutch anywhere.
Also, the weight doesn't have much to do with the output of the engine and the clutch and that relationship. That doesn't really matter much. Yeah, I don't think that would work out that way.
And you know what? Worst comes to worst, you burn out the clutch plates and you put better ones in with better clutch springs, and then you get a better feeling clutch.
Yeah, it's really no biggie.
Old Yammie, that would be our advice if you're in the stream or listening to us at home.
Mm-hmm. I think someone on the Yamcast put up a photo of their tires and asked me to take a look at their wear pattern.
Let's see here, right here.
There we go.
Analyze my tire.
Bankshift Bill, analyze my tire. So first of all, looks like you're using the Patrician Q4s. Very good tire. Love the Q4. And that looks like a very mellow wear pattern on there and nice and even. So good job, Bill.
So what you're saying is more 6-gear energy.
You need to go faster. More boogers. 250 Pete, a repeat caller. How is it going?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. What can we do for you?
Hey, I just turned off my audio here. Is there ever issues with feedback over the phone, or am I worrying too much about this?
That would be best to turn the audio off. Otherwise, it probably will just cause some weird interference. So that probably is best practice.
Yeah, there's a little bit of stream delay, but not by much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I have some grasp of the laws of physics then.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, thanks for having me on again. And I am calling with a single question today. I'll try to get it over with as fast as possible. But before I get into it, I just wanted to lead off with an anecdote just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm going with this question. I ride a 2007 SV 650 Franken bike, and one of the things I really love about it is that I find it almost as rewarding to roll off the throttle as it is to roll on the throttle. The engine braking is something that I use all the time, and it's basically like a third brake to me. And I use it really in conjunction with other braking, for pretty much all the time, to the point that I'm trying to actually train myself to tap the rear brake pedal when rolling off, just as a courtesy to let people know behind me that I'm slowing down so they don't break my vertebrae. But at any rate, it's something that I find really, really rewarding, and it's something I really love about that motorcycle. And so my question to you both is, are there any motorcycles that stand out to you for having a really great feel when you roll off the throttle?
Yes. I would say so. Spite, which one are you thinking of?
I've got two. First one, VFR 800. It has a very satisfying roll-off. It makes very lovely sounds when you're rolling off and you have an exhaust on there. It cracks and rumbles. And then the second is actually a 45-degree Harley-Davidson engine. Is lovely to roll off on because those engines are so torquey and they're so heavy that they really kind of tow the bike down, and it's almost better than the front brake on its own. Mm-hmm. So those are my two.
Yeah. For me, my favorite roll-off, and it happens very quickly, but I use it when I'm racing and on track. When you enter your brake zones on track and you are able to downshift very quickly, the feeling of the braking changes completely because you're trying to keep the engine revs as high as possible. So for me, I love the sound of my Daytona just nearly pinging off the limiter as I downshift, entering a really hard braking zone and just feeling the whole bike wiggle underneath me. And it's a feeling you just really can't even approach on the street. And so it's a very rare feeling for me. I only get to experience it when I'm on track or racing. And so it's a really, really special feeling. And then also, I just love rolling off on my desert sled. Like you said, V-twins are so nice to just rev up and then chop the throttle. They make all kinds of cool sounds. So, yeah, I don't think about the roll-off much. I normally think about the roll-on more because that's more the party's happening there.
Yep.
But the roll-off is pretty sweet, too. Yeah. Underrated, Pete. Underrated.
Okay. No, thanks. I really appreciate it, and that's all I have for you.
Sweet. No esoteric manual deep cuts for us this time?
No, that was kind of a one-off, and that that really came from I went and looked at. I think that was because I looked at the Jixus 750, and I saw the big sticker saying 91 or the engine will blow up.
Yep.
And I just kind of, again, that was kind of a potential deal breaker to me. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, maybe Honda can make a nice four-cylinder engine and run 87. And my goodness, I was right. Good for them.
Sure enough.
But at any rate, just to give space for other callers, I'll go ahead and sign off. Thanks for taking my question.
Sure. Thanks, Pete.
Sounds good.
We'll catch you next time.
All right. Peace.
He's got some interesting takes. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems very unique.
Mm-hmm. Got a lot of kind of a thoughtful view on motorcycle. Because, again, I always think about, it's party time when you crack the throttle open.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
Tachometer sweeps in one direction for me. Just goes up.
Yep. And now I don't have a tachometer anymore. So now it's just about feel.
Yep.
Again,
all that
we'll
feel.
talk about it later.
All that feel. Let's see if we got any other questions on the Yamcast or anybody asking us stuff.
Let's see, y'all. All right, so this is scrolling back up. Let's go back down to the bottom.
Andrew said the Boosa / Grom video was pretty good too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not many people thought so. So I
really liked putting that one together. It was just a silly good time, and nobody watched it. If you're watching this, go watch that video.
Yeah, go check that out. It's a great video. Tied Ups here on Yamcast said, I forgot to say this, but can y'all give a shout out to the Scissor Gang for all their help getting me rolling again? Shout out to the Scissor Gang. I assume that's the XSR gang on Discord. We've got a consortium of at least 3 or 4 XSR owners on the Discord as far as I remember.
And they are very vocal.
They're very vocal. Damn Yamaha boys.
I think they get it from you.
I think they do, yeah.
Why is it that after I bought a 1000, oh shoot, I wish, can we bring up that there was a question in there?
Oh, we can.
Okay. Why is it about after I bought a 1000, regret not getting a 600 or 750?
Why is it that after I bought a 1000, I regret not getting a 600 or 750? I guess the question is if they went direct to a 1000?
Yeah. So, I mean, probably the reason why you regret not getting the 600 or 750 is because you realize you cannot use a 1000 on the street.
Yeah, and just how much faster they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gap between a 600 to 1000 is palpable. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the 1000 is literally only at home at on the back straight of a racetrack.
Absolutely.
It's
it's so funny because only if you have a very large racetrack do you even get to see the time differences in the gains.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most tracks here in Texas, a leader bike is only 1 second off of a 600 pace.
Maybe you should see if you can get the R1 on Coda.
Yeah, I really, dude, yeah. Because then you get to rip that bike almost probably to the top of 5th, maybe getting into 6th. Yeah.
Yep.
Someone on Yamcast asked, when is your next race, Yammie, Calamari Express? Next race is this weekend, actually. I'll be up at Crescent doing a clockwise, and I'm in it to win it this time. I think my first race over at MSRH was kind of feeling it out, kind of seeing, but I'm pretty competitive at Crescent. And I want to win. I want to freaking win. So I'm actually going to start this tonight looking up videos about the counter or the clockwise format, seeing where the lines are, where I can get the time. And I want to win. Like, I want a podium. I want something.
That would be really cool, man.
Yeah. Last time I finished, I think, well, I technically got second place in my Provnov race, but there were so many handicaps for other people that it was like a gimme. That was a little gimme.
Didn't you say people were like going down left, right, and center in that race?
No, that was in my other sprint race, and then also for the endurance race. Just people just nuking themselves constantly in front of me. It was awesome. Moto fan, how's it going, dude?
Hey, yeah, just shooing a call before the whole Yamcast is over. How you guys doing today?
We're doing good. I think Spite's probably doing a little bit better than me because he has a new toy to play with, but
Yes,
we'll chat about that in a little bit.
All right, okay. Sounds good.
What can we do for you?
Hey, so have you guys been following MotoAmerica at all for the past, for at least this 2020 season so far?
I have actually, yeah. I've been keeping tabs on it.
Going through and watching it, I've been noticing that there's a lot of, I guess, standout riders that have really started to come into their own, especially in or not so much in the leader bike class, but 600s, and especially the GT twins, like what was that? I was wondering, aside from the obvious, Josh Aaron, because God bless him, but anyway, aside.
He seems to be struggling a little bit on that BMW, yeah, but I think they'll get that sorted out.
Yeah, sooner or later. It's always more fun to watch an underdog. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Aside from him, are there any other riders or just standout riders from other classes that maybe have caught your eye? Guys such as, Dominic Doyle, Caleb DeCarroll, Richie Escalante in the 600 class that's pretty much ran away with it so far.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you've seen anyone else that kind of caught your eye.
I think for me, and this probably is a pretty basic and obvious choice, but I definitely have my eye on Rocco Landers. I think a lot of people do. He's a big talent, and it's going to be really interesting to see as he transitions over from the 400s into the twins, and then hopefully eventually 600s and Superbike, what he does. I mean, he's still so young. I think he's like 14 or 15, so he's got a lot of time to develop, but I think he's really, really talented, and I think he's got a lot of the right support systems in place to let him really develop and explore and get better. Definitely have an eye on him. Also, I mean, it's just been crazy to see what Bobier is doing in Superbike as well. I mean, it just looks like he's pretty unstoppable. And some people have floated the WSBK stuff and seeing if he wants to do that. But that's always tricky because the level of competition at World Superbike is really gnarly. You have former GP guys in there like Scott Redding. You just have Jonathan Rea and WSBK, right? So I don't know if Cam's talents in MotoAmerica would translate to World Superbike, but I think it'd just be so awesome to see an American doing stuff again at the world stage, beyond just us all pinning our hopes on Joe Roberts in Moto2, right? So that could be really cool. Who do you have your eye on?
Well, actually in the Superbike class, and this is going back to 2016, but I've had my eye on Kyle Lyman ever since he got the sponsorship in 2017 with Lucas Oil. Mm-hmm. One, because it was kind of just a really interesting scheme to see just a murdered out Yamaha with just Lucas Oil plastered on the side.
Yeah.
And then finding out that he was, realistically the only professional level Ducati rider that was going to be in the paddock. And, we're talking, this is over 10 years ago at this point, but, looking back into the AMA Superbike, just kind of record books, you see that the last win for Ducati was back in, 2009 when I think it was the 1198 was still prevalent. I think that was probably one of the first years that came out. But then, you look over the history back to the early 90s, Ducati was winning with, and this was before Matt Mladen and Ben Spies, and this is particularly before Matt, but, there were guys winning on, 916s, and then they went from 916 to 996 and then 998.
Yeah.
So they didn't win every single year, but you look at all the places in there, and those bikes were usually within the top three pretty much every round unless someone, had to crash out.
Yeah, they were super
really
competitive.
interesting
Yeah.
watching Ducati really come back into it, taking small steps, and then hearing that he's working with the Aruba team that's not only based in World Superbike, but they have a contingent out in British Superbike, which I've been watching those guys for a couple of years, and I love just how just stupidly close that racing is, because it's a sprint from start to finish.
Yeah, it's. I think I saw in one of Kyle's vlogs that he was talking about how the Aruba team was helping him out with some setup for the bike and all that. So it's really cool to see some, cross, WSBK, MotoAmerica support there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, the only other rider I'm really paying attention to right now is a rider in the twins class called Caleb Duqueiro. And the main reason I did that is because back when I went to Barber for the final round last season, I got to actually meet him. He's a really cool dude, and very down to earth. Kind of reminds me of a little bit of Josh Herron, but maybe not quite so much a clown at times. But anyway, it's just, I don't know. So he has his own YouTube channel that, if you get time, I would highly recommend checking out, because he goes into all the behind the scenes for, all his training regimens and how he conducts himself, what he does to train, all the different disciplines that he practices through. It's just interesting seeing, the racer side of things when they're not, in the limelight of racing, like all the other extra practice and all the other, 99 some odd percent of effort that goes into a racing, into a racing class that us normies just don't really get a chance to see.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And for all the folks at home, too, if you're interested in a good racing podcast, MotoAmerica has a great podcast where they interview racers and talk about the racing and all that. That's really great. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but MotoAmerica has a pretty good podcast you guys can check out, too. But I appreciate the call, MotoFan. It was great catching up about some racing. I feel like maybe 3 or 4 people actually care about this topic, but I really care about it, and I think it's super fun to talk about. So it's my Yamcast, and I will talk about whatever I want. So we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, and good luck on your next race, bud.
Thank you. It's this weekend. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, boss.
The big thing I got to do this weekend is not crash. Just not crash, but I do want to win so bad.
Just bring some of that Marc Marquez 15 tenths energy.
Yeah,
man.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right, let's see if we've got...
I could talk about MotoGP for a fucking hour on this Yamcast, but I won't do it. This first season race was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. We'll do a separate Yamcast for that.
Or maybe that'll be our news section for next week.
Or maybe whenever it's like, what's going on with Yam and Spite, I just talk about MotoGP. Because I'm so happy that it's back.
Just don't crash, Yam. Easy peasy.
Just don't crash, yeah. Go faster. That's my favorite advice that my racer buddies give me. I'm just like, dude, I'm having trouble with this section, whatever. They're like, dude, just go faster. I'm like, well, yeah, I know.
Thanks for being helpful, man.
Trying. Alrighty, guys, we're now going to move on to the Boosa memes and wrap up this Yamcast. Let's do it.
Okie doke. So, you want to tell the folks at home what's going on now?
So now we are going to be looking at a couple of Hayabusa-related memes. We have another competition going on this week, and I think we're having so much fun with this. I think we're just going to keep doing it every week. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, honestly.
Where we have up for grabs a $100 RevZilla gift card for our sweet Discord boys as part of a little competition. They put together their best memes or whatever we come up with. What was your plan for this next week's competition?
I have a feeling that this next week's competition should be just we send the Discord boys out into the world to find the worst Craigslist bikes in their area.
Yeah, the absolute worst. Still running motorcycle.
It needs to run, and it needs to be the worst. Either like it's just priced way too high, or like it's just an absolute wretched shit bike.
Yep. So if you want to join up on those fun competitions, go to yammie.co. But without further ado, let's look at our Boosa memes.
Let's do it. Okay, so our first Boosa meme comes to us from Bang Shift Bill.
Oh, classic Discord user. Always so good. If you can't handle me at my Yammie Boosa, then you don't deserve me at my absolutely insane, wretched stretch Boosa. This was, I remember him posting this on the Discord, so that's great. He was able to reutilize that.
Yeah.
I have appointed Bang Shift Bill as our shitpost consultant. I come to him every once in a while, and I'm like, give me a funny idea. Give me something stupid to go do. And he usually has good ideas. So thank you, Bill. This is a very good one.
Yes. And again, just because you can tell it came right out of Discord, too.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Next one comes to us from Cologne. This is yet another PNG. It's mostly PNGs this time, and JPEGs.
There's one video, though, right?
One video, and I'm really excited for it, if this will load.
Boosa pasta, Boosa macarones de Boosa, and then it's an eagle and.
So that would be a peregrine,
that's a peregrine falcon, yeah.
And a bunch of boosas on macaroni.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. But
yeah, because I don't think the Boosa has any. If it was like at a Ducati, then it would make sense because pasta Italian.
Yeah.
But
what is the Italian pasta Boosa? Is that the Diavol?
I guess so.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah.
Just cover it in
It's the closest
Diavols.
thing they have, yeah. So not getting this one, but still funny.
Yep. On to our next one is from Dilemma 1234.
small peanut brain energy is my Hayabusa. This is an old photo. This is when it was like bone stock, I think.
Yeah, this is when we
Yammie-chan
just
wasn't even
gotten
on
it.
there. Yeah. And then Hyper Galaxy Brain is what even is that? It's got like vents in the front.
That looks like a face. Like that
I love
honestly,
that.
it looks like a face. Let's see if I can open the original and blow it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Enhance spite.
that is definitely a face that's on that Hayabusa right there.
There's some kind. Yeah, it's some kind of like monster, a monkey or something.
This thing is just. It's a Boosa.
Yep.
Of course, it looks horrendous.
Of course, it's like that.
We gotta up our game, man.
Well, honestly, yeah. Boosa's looking a little weak compared to all these other Boosas. And now we have this new one.
Dan's entry, and I will open the original.
Is that wow, that's so well done.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
Wow.
The Honda Boosa. I bought a Honda Boosa.
Oh, he even changed it. Absolutely clickbait. He changed. Look at the subscriber count too. He changed that.
Yep, 420 up votes with 69 down votes.
That's so good. The details. How many views? See, like 1 quadrillion views or something. Dude, this is awesome. What is the logo for the channel? Because that's different too.
I can't. Let's see if I can zoom it in again.
It looks just like a cube.
It's probably it went behind the phone. Probably
Yeah.
a gummy cube.
Yeah. I love that I have like 37 million subscribers.
Yup.
I bought a Honda Boosa.
And I like-
Absolutely clickbait. It's so well done.
Yeah.
The Honda logo on there, it looks real.
Yeah.
That's
it almost does
crazy.
look real.
Oh my god.
That's
Wow.
If we had
If I could post that and it would get 6.8 billion views, I'd just be done. That's it. I did it.
cash out.
Cash out, call it a day.
That is a great entry right there. Next, we have one coming from Joel Will.
So far, that Honda Boosa one's my favorite. That's incredible. Yammie said, bikes won't get you chicks. Got to get a Boosa. Oof, that's a large man right there.
That is a thick boy.
That is a thick boy. Wow. Yeah, that's got to be someone's dream, I suppose. This Jabba the Hutt looking dude. Not trying to fat shame anyone, but he's very large. No one can deny that.
That is a thick boy.
That is a big man. Yeah, I don't know if a Boosa would help you in that situation though.
Honestly, the Boosa is probably just another one of those bikes where you get a Boosa and you are instantly just surrounded by dudes.
Yeah.
It gets the exact opposite result.
Didn't you tell me you were talking about the VFR and you said its gross vehicle weight capacity? What was it again?
It was like 900 pounds.
And then I was like, oh yeah, that's like 2 Boosa boys.
That was
Yeah. Someone put a React image on Discord. Let's see. Yeah. I love that Anthony Fantano meme where he's like, that's a thick ass boy. All right, let's see the next one.
Our next one. This is the video. This is what I was very excited about. This comes from Just Playin.
I'm very excited to see this.
I'm gonna just go ahead.
When you
and open
don't
it right
stretch
in
your
YouTube.
Boosa. Oh, this is going to be good. When you don't stretch your Boosa.
You are unworthy of being crowned, unworthy of your title. You're unworthy. Name of my father. Prince Walter before. I owe it to our father. Cut you!
This is on Craigslist. Oh, that's great. Dude, I fucking wish I could sell that thing for $7,000. It's probably not worth $4 at this point.
I mean, maybe just the star power of it being the Yammie Noob Boosa.
Yeah.
But
God, that's good.
I really like that one. I like that one a lot.
She's like, you're not worthy of this. That's great.
This next one comes to us from Mighty Ninja 96.
Okay. The Boosa. Literally any other motorcycle. That's how it feels riding it. Just some big, strong, powerful man that Dad loves now.
And then you get off of it and you're like, this was a horrible experience.
I have a really funny little anecdote to tell you. I was looking up on Google this morning. I was trying to find the MotoGP results. So I just typed in on Google MotoGP. And then I scrolled down a little bit and it shows you related searches, right? One of them was, why is the Hayabusa not in MotoGP? I was like, no, who the hell? Also, the fact that it thought that I would search for that. Isn't that good?
The idea of the Hayabusa in MotoGP.
Just lining up right next to Marquez, just like, all right, here we go. Marquez second on pole here, like blah, blah, blah. Just a fucking Hayabusa right next to him. Oh,
just
God.
ridden by Captain Florida Man. That would be lovely. Our next one comes to us from Mobius 118.
Has anyone seen Suzuki? Kawasaki asks. Hold on, I got this. Honda. Boy, this Blackbird sure is fast. 180 is basic, pathetic. I live in full tuck. You don't know what you're saying. Oh, you don't know, what is it?
You don't know what speed is.
You don't know what speed is.
Walks in carrying the Boosa and a turbo.
Yep, that is exactly right. Yeah, that's how you also summon a goddamn Suzuki boy. You're just like, oh, this Gixxer kind of sucks. Here they come. Yeah. I love that meme format. That's great.
All of the history there too.
Yep.
Very applicable. Good job, Mobius 118. Our next one comes to us from Poly Pistol.
So you just let one of these levers out while you twist one of these grips. How hard could it be? And just full yeet. Is that real, do you think?
Yes.
God damn, dude. You're about to have a bad day.
Yeah.
You're about to have a bad day. That motorcycle's going to land right on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
It also looks like a giant banana. It looks like there's a little sticker at the bottom of it. Looks like a genuine, just like a banana. That's
I've
great.
used this photo in videos before.
I've seen it before,
Of course
yeah.
I have. And I just, every time I see it, I'm like, what happened? Because
What
they're not
happened?
at the start.
Well, honestly, it could be. Yeah, they're not at the start. I don't see the trees anywhere. Yeah, there's no lines or anything. But you've seen that video at the CMRA race in Crescent where the dude, he let out his R1 and he thought launch control was on. He immediately just looped it completely. So it can happen.
Yeah, it's just
Can you imagine, dude? You let out the clutch and it's just fully upside down. God, just let go of the throttle, man.
Yeah, or just let go of the bike.
Yeah, something. He's holding on. He's like, no, I'm gonna save it.
I'm gonna say this dude is committed right here.
He is sporting the old 2 o'clock nooner right there. Yeah,
very good.
Jeez.
Next one comes to us from Probs.
Is Boosa an instrument? And it's me, you, and Dan the fireman made an appearance, and we all look so sad. What is that photo of you that's looking all sad? Where is that from?
I think that's from a thumbnail.
I think it's from one of our Yamcast thumbnails.
We used to have those compendium of our photo or our faces.
Yeah. I mean, I still have that. It's very useful to chuck in every once in a while.
I think it's just sitting in Google Drive somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is You're the one who's asking, is Boosa an instrument here?
Absolutely.
And me and Dan are sad.
Yeah.
I like that one. Next one comes to us from Spooky Zuki.
Oh, very active boy on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Crippling addiction to Monster Energy, flip-flops, Boosa boys. Just happy little dog over there. 4-foot stretch, inferior riding skills, and a turbo. I love that little dog in the middle, just happy as can be, looking at all this pizza. This is one of the weirdest pictures I've ever seen. Do you think it's real?
I gotta believe. I mean, they're all holding hands too.
Yeah.
Just
and the lighting looks correct for each of them, but who knows?
This is the fact that this picture just exists on the internet.
So good.
The internet just gives us weird things. Just
4 super buff dudes and a cute little dog all praying to some sort of pizza god.
the turbo.
Yeah. It's like if you've seen those like cursed images of like there's like one of like the kid like throwing up all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yes.
There's all kinds of weird. The Yammie folder's full of them.
Yep, we have a lot of them.
A lot of cursed images.
The dude doing a wheelie in the rabbit costume.
That's one of my favorites. One of my favorite images.
Now, our last entry today comes to us from another very active Discord boy, Venom MX X3, III 2023. Another classic meme format.
Classic meme. I finally found it after 15 years. The scroll of truth. Stretching it doesn't make it any faster than an R1. He's just throwing it away, and he's on a Boosa that the stretch is so long that it is beyond the frame there. That's very good.
Yes.
Because, yeah, I mean, we saw that firsthand where it's like, this bike will never be faster than the R1 unless you turbo it.
Yep. And even then, you got to wait for it to spool up. Even then,
you got to wait. Because you got to really pump the boost because the kit that we were looking at was going to do like 240 to the wheels, I think. Mm-hmm. Which certainly would be enough, I think, to outgun the R1. But not by much, honestly. Because the R1 makes 200 horsepower.
And it's lighter. It'll get to it faster.
It weighs like 140 pounds less.
Yep.
Like 100 pounds less.
Well, the Boosa's 580.
I thought it was 560.
I think it's either like it's probably 580 in real life.
Yeah.
So I gotta believe it's the R1 would just be in the power band so much faster, and then probably the Boosa would just blow the R1's doors off at a certain point.
You can find a video like Turbo Busa versus R1. I'm sure that exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do the research and we'll find it.
Yeah. Now the question is, which one was our favorite and who is going to win?
Honestly,
that's the image, Ty Dubs. Yeah,
that's
the one. I love that picture so much. It's so good. Because his face is just like, yeah! Just makes me laugh every time I look at it.
I gotta figure out a way to use it more often. It's been a while since I've used it.
Yeah.
The MotoGP Boosa.
Oh my god, an X-Star livery Boosa. Ugh. Should not exist. It looks good. I mean, the X-Star livery is super cool, but God, that's on the wrong bike. Terrible.
Do you think it adds more power? The X-Star livery, probably a little.
A little bit. 5 horsepower. Yeah. All right, who's the favorite today? I mean, the video is real up there for me. Yeah. I gotta say, that's probably top contender.
Yep.
But then there was another photo. If we scroll up, where was it? Not that one.
This one.
That's so good.
It's so good.
It's
because
really
of
good.
How well photoshopped it is.
It's so well photoshopped. The details, there's all kinds of little intricate details in it. Like, he could have just done the Photoshop and called it a day, but like, he changed the title. He changed everything's different. That's my choice for the week. I gotta say.
Yeah, and I think since we're going for just like pure memes and we have so many photos, I think this is the one photo that's above and beyond the others.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the video,
yeah,
I think this one has to win.
It's got to win. Yeah. So who made that one?
This one comes to us from, I believe it is Dan. Let me double check that.
It's not going to open on there.
Yeah. Yep, it's from Dan.
Dan, you are the winner for this week. $100 Revzilla gift card coming your way.
I will reach out to you and we'll get it all sorted. And I am apparently opening Slack. Good grief.
This is not his OC. I open that one really quick. That looks really funny. You've encountered the Boosa man. He is seen once only every 30k miles. Comment Turbo Busa or die for reliable Japanese sleep. Say hi. I love that. That was very odd. Yeah, so Dan. Is that the one, right? Dan?
Yes, Dan is our winner.
Dan is the winner.
And we'll
send you a DM, and Spite will get you sorted with a nice little $100 gift card. Very well done on the meme. Awesome job. Super funny.
Yes, absolutely.
So now we're going into the portion. We're going to cut out that whole section. You're not going to see that part. Now we're moving on to the portion of our podcast where we talk about what's going on with us, because this is the end of the podcast and we do what we want. So Spite, you got a bit of news, don't you?
I bought a new motherfucking motorcycle and I've been wanting to talk about it.
He's so happy about it. Talk away. What is it? What's going on? Why'd you get it? Tell me all about it.
I bought a 2020 KTM 690 SMCR.
Brand spanking new.
Brand spanking new. It had like 3 miles on it, and then I put 20 miles of test ride mileage on it. Now I put another 100 on it. So
you were for 20 miles on your test ride?
I went on 2 test rides on the same bike because I really wanted to make sure. And if you're wondering, the VFR is gone. I have it no more.
R.I.P.
Yes. However, I'm not sad about it.
Yeah.
When I had to trade in my 919 for the VFR, there was some, man tears because it was a very precious motorcycle to me.
Yeah.
And I never really felt that way about the VFR. So I got rid of it, and I got a motorcycle that is way more fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is so much more fun, and that was one of my big complaints about the VFR. Is it was one of those motorcycles that was so good that it was boring.
So buttoned up, yeah.
Yeah, and it was really hard to just go have fun on it.
And you'd been talking about how you felt like you weren't really having fun on it, and it was so buttoned up, and you were wanting something different for a while, and it's been a while,
Yeah.
a couple months now.
Yeah, and I'm really glad I waited because the other option was going to be a Harley-Davidson Roadster 1200, which I don't think I would have had nearly as much fun on, honestly. It would be really cool to own it, and I still would love to own a Sportster one day. But for where I'm at right now, what I do, it's just the Sumo is life. Sumo is the way.
I was talking to you earlier. I thought it was so funny how when we got the DRZ for the giveaway last year, and I let you take a ride on it, and we were doing content with it and stuff. You were so kind of like, oh, this is a dinosaur bike. This thing's weird and blah blah blah. Now you own 2 supermotos.
Yes, I own 2 supermotos. I still have the DRZ. It's still in the other room.
But the DRZ is going to be your just like practice dirt boy, like all just goof around bike. Because the SMCR is way too pretty to bin already. Like it's brand new.
Yes, it literally, like I posted in my story on Instagram, I posted just me peeling off the protective cover on the dashboard. It was that fresh.
Yeah.
And I am not going to abuse that bike anytime soon. I'm still doing all the run-in procedures. I'm trying to be very nice to it. It's really hard because it just wants to be an animal. It wants to be a complete hooligan machine.
Having taken a test ride on a Husky 701, that thing just rips. It's got so much torque.
And
wheelies in third gear, no problem.
The up-down quick shifter, very good. The slipper clutch, very good. The 2 mode, it's got street mode and sport mode, which disables rear wheel ABS.
Yeah. What I like about the Sumo, especially with that up-down quick shifter, is the riding stance and all that. I mean, it seems like you could just goof around on it all day, ride it a little lazy if you wanted to, or really get into it and have some fun. It's a really versatile motorcycle.
Yeah, and one thing that I really like about it is it weighs more than your average Sumo. And it has more displacement than your average Sumo, which means it's fine on the highway.
Yeah, more of a naked bike.
Up to like 80 miles an hour, it's completely rock solid. And then I actually did take it up to like 100 miles an hour, and that was a little hairy, not gonna lie. But you don't need to be pushing it that fast. You don't need to go that fast. It's so fun everywhere else.
Yeah.
And for a street bike, I honestly don't think I could have picked a better one.
I think it's exactly what you were looking for. Yeah.
And it's fuel injected, so no carburetors.
No carburetors. We do not like carburetors here on Yammie Noob. We don't fuck with them.
No, I'm done.
Yeah. So happy for you. It seems like a good choice. Seems like you're gonna have lots of fun with it. It seems like a motorcycle you're gonna keep for a long time too, which is nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think unless the engine fails on me, which it's a KTM, so that's not outside the realm of possibility. I will keep it until it dies, basically.
Yeah.
I honestly think I will keep this bike until it dies.
Yeah.
This is just too much fun.
So now, of course, I have to say we are both KTM simps. I own 2 KTMs, and you own 1 KTM, and we're both head over the heels for both of them. I mean, the track mule is the track mule.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I love that bike. It serves its purpose. The dirt bike I love.
Yeah, I mean, if you loved it, it would not be sitting on top of a pea pad right now.
That's true. Yeah, I would have fixed it by now.
Yeah. But it's such a good bike. KTM makes such a good bike. And I'm just kicking myself for not having done it sooner.
Yep.
But
no more VFR. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm still like trying to transition my perception of you of like, you're not the VFR dude anymore. You're now the SMCR guy.
Yes.
Know? Yeah.
And the VFR, I rode it to the dealership and, I was like, this is a very good motorcycle. I have no problems to say that I gave up a excellent motorcycle. It was very, very good, but it was not the kind of thing that I wanted anymore.
Yeah.
And it's fine. You grow out of stuff.
Yeah, you had it for like over a year, right? Or about a year.
I bought it April 16th of 2019.
Yeah. So I think you get your fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a really good deal. I lost about $150 on the VFR for owning it for a year.
That's not bad at all.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good stuff.
How about you? What's going on with you?
With me, I have another race coming up this weekend, so very excited about that. I will be racing at Motorsport Ranch Crescent, the 1.7 course, running it clockwise, which I've only ever done it counterclockwise, so I'm a little concerned about that. But I know the track pretty well, and I want to win. I want to be competitive. I want to win. I've been talking to my buddy Brandon, who's a racer, and he's just like, just go to win, show up to try to win. Because I had my first race at Houston. I think I was just getting my feet wet, trying to feel it out, trying to, see what it was going to be like. But this one, I want to be competitive and I want to win. I feel like I've got a good setup on the bike and I'm really intuitive with the bike. I will actually be running slicks for the first time on the bike, which is great too, because I'm going to burn up my Q4s doing practice on Friday, and then Friday afternoon, going to slap on the new slicks on it, and then kind of qualifying and practice on Saturday, kind of get that dialed in, see how I feel about it, and hopefully that puts me over the edge of the times I'm already running out there and kind of gets me a little bit quicker, and then hopefully I can be really competitive in the novice class and beat everyone.
Is this your first time running slicks on the Daytona?
Mm-hmm.
So
I've always run Q4, so it's going to be a little different. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but everyone else is running slicks, and people were clowning me for my Q4s at Houston. They're just like, oh, do you run this on the street? I was like, no, it's a race bike. They're like, why do you have Q4s then? I was like, that's a great question. So I feel like as I'm evolving now into just racing more than track days, honestly, it's time to run slicks, time to just do it and just see how it works.
Yeah.
The weird thing about slicks is the PSIs you run them at. So the slicks run at 22 PSI, super low pressure.
I got to believe that's just because they generate more heat.
I think it's that. I think maybe the tire itself is thinner and it doesn't need to go through. I don't know, but it runs super low pressures.
Yeah.
To the point where I was telling Brandon, I was like, oh, yeah, these Q4s, I run them, 29 front, 30 rear. He was like, that's so high. And I was like, that's just the pressure they run at because they're street tires.
Right.
More or less, right?
Yeah.
They're very aggressive street tire, but they are street tires.
So you still got to, you got to build a lot of heat in them. They're not designed to just get cooked after 20 laps.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And that'll be the thing, too. I already have tire warmers, but they'll be extra important with the slicks to use them and make sure that they go on beforehand and get the temps up and all that. And I'm hoping that'll chop off at least 2 to 3 seconds off my laps, and then I feel like I'll be really competitive at that point. Because counterclockwise, I was running a 124, a 123, and if I can get down to low 120s, that's only 2 to 3 seconds off the expert pace.
I think the best scientific data you would be able to collect is you running on ECR with slicks.
Totally, yeah.
Like that is
that's my benchmark. I know that track so well, yeah.
And if you can really chop off a lot of time, then it was the right time to get slicks.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure you'll do just fine.
Yeah. So. Big goal is to not crash. That's the only thing. Even if I win or not, whatever. I would like to win, but the big goal is to just not crash and bring the bike back in one piece and have fun.
No crunching it up.
Yeah, no crunching it up. No falling off of it is what I did last time I was at Crescent. Did I show you that video where I just kind of let it go and the bike kept going and I came off? That was so dumb. And I remember when it happened, I was like, oh, I lost the front, bro. Like, yeah, this and that. And I looked at the video. I was like, I didn't lose shit. I just came off the bike. The bike kept going. I could have wrote that out. But now we just saw in the GP race today of what's possible to hold on to. And I'm like, the bar has been set out in fucking outer space of what you can actually save, That's going to be my next gif if I ever see anyone being like, I had to lay her down. Just Marquez just literally holding on at 70 degrees of lean and not letting it go.
It's like that Boosa boy who committed.
Just do not let go of the bike.
Do not let go.
Do not let go. But that's going to wrap it up for this week, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you made it all the way to the end, God bless you if you did. I think only about 30 of you ever do to make it all the way to the end. We'll catch you next time. Remember, if you want to join up on our Discord, see these live, ask us questions, send us memes, all that stuff, hit the link to yammie.co, and we'll catch you next time.